Brought to you by Penguin.
The Coming Storm, written and read by me, Gabriel Gatehouse. This audiobook evolved out of a radio and podcast series I made for the BBC, together with my colleague Lucy Proctor. The journalism we did for that series was a joint endeavour. She was present at many of the weird encounters you'll hear about, and we spent many fraught hours trying to wrangle the madness into a coherent set of programmes. The audiobook you're about to listen to would not exist without her insights, her deep dives into the darker corners of the internet, her camaraderie on the road, her rock-solid editorial nous, and above all, her enduring faith in the pot of gold at the end of the rabbit hole. Prologue. Charleston, West Virginia, 8th of May, 2024. I pushed through the heavy doors of the campus building and climbed up the stairs. At the top of them was General Michael T. Flynn, a wiry ex-soldier with once chiseled features and a manic energy. Flynn didn't like me. I knew that much from our last encounter. He thought I was an agent of the deep state. The man who'd brought me here was Derek Evans. Evans had the air of a slightly naughty but good-natured puppy dog. He was also a Jan Sixer. He'd served his time for that, and was now running for a seat in Congress, the very place he'd helped overrun nearly 4 years previously. "A storm is coming," he'd written on his Facebook page. A week later, he boarded a bus and travelled to Washington, D.C. On the 6th of January 2021, as the mob scuffled with police outside the Capitol, Evans live-streamed himself, shouting, "The cops are running! The cops are running!" Then, as the doors of the rotunda were prized open, he made his way inside. "We're in! Derek Evans is in the Capitol!" he screamed. Evans spent less than 10 minutes inside the Capitol building. He didn't attack anyone. He didn't smash anything. In fact, on the live stream, he can be heard shouting, "Hey, no destruction of anything, no vandalizing property." But when he got home, he realized he was probably in trouble. For one thing, he was an elected representative himself. He'd only recently taken an oath to uphold the Constitution as he was sworn in as a member of the West Virginia House of Delegates, a small cog in America's vast apparatus of democracy. Now, thanks to his own live stream, he was all over social media, among the crowd of enraged Trump supporters, trying to overturn the result of the 2020 presidential election. Also, Derek had 4 young kids at home and was facing years behind bars. His wife was pretty furious. "I take full responsibility for my actions," Evans wrote when he resigned his seat 2 days later, "and deeply regret any hurt, pain, or embarrassment I may have caused my family, my friends, constituents, and fellow West Virginians." In court, he pleaded guilty. The judge, impressed by his contrition, gave him a relatively light sentence, 3 months in prison. By the time I met him in Charleston, Derek Evans was telling a very different story. No more Mr. Contrite Guy. He and the other Jan Sixers were political prisoners, he told me. Hostages of the Biden regime. "We're collateral damage to them," he said. "They're using all of us to build a case to ultimately get to President Trump." Now, he was running for U.S. Congress himself. His opponent in the West Virginia Republican primary had been inside the House on January the 6th, among other lawmakers, hiding in fear of their lives. I asked him what he wanted to do if he got elected. His answer wasn't build the wall or tackle the debt or any of the standard responses trotted out by Republicans. Instead, he pledged to defund the FBI, the CIA, and the DOJ, the Department of Justice. "I want to completely abolish these unconstitutional 3-letter agencies," he said. He wanted to get rid of the Federal Reserve and return the dollar to the gold standard. He wanted to put public health officials on trial in military tribunals, a Nuremberg 2.0 for people he said were involved in deploying bioweapons that...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?